Good morning. It's time for video 18 out of planned series of 40. We keep building on everything that we have achieved so far, building strength. Remember, the poses become increasingly intense, complex. Some of them are rather difficult, but there are several things to keep in mind. When you practice regularly, your body adapts. You develop strength, and exercises that at first appear to be hard, difficult, with improving condition, physical condition, they become easier. They feel lighter. So try to practice fairly regularly. That is just the best advice I can give you. The reward is just enormous. When you practice once a week, for example, you build something one day, and then 6 days you let it wind down, weaken. Then the 7th day you have to start all over again. So every time you struggle, every time you suffer, if you practice a couple of times a week, you start to enjoy what you do, because you become familiar with it, you become one with it, and you develop a sense of having a certain control over it. And of course it gives a sense of fulfillment, that you notice the improvements that are taking place. So to have the discipline to practice regularly, that is not easy, but it becomes easier when the reward is clearly there. The good feeling that remains, that you derive from your practice, that in itself is of course a very good motivation to practice again tomorrow. So play a little bit with the concept. Feel free, but do to some extent put in some discipline to make it work. Without it, it can't work. Okay, let's just roll up our sleeves and get to it. If you have long sleeves, that is. Let's close our eyes for a minute. We clear our minds, simply with a quiet observation, breathing deep and calm, nothing complicated. Slowly open your eyes again. If you wonder why we sing Om, there is a video titled AUM, how to sing Om and why also. Our yoga is no nonsense, so we do not do anything that has a clear and practical purpose. And so we do not engage in all kinds of mysterious rituals, but singing Om is one of the rituals at the beginning and the end of the session that has a clear purpose. So it's very extensively explained in that separate video titled Om, AUM, not OM, but AUM. Okay, let's get to it. Please stand up. Start with Tadasana, the basic standing pose. All standing poses start with this one. Stand erect. Feet parallel, distribute the weight on the foot soles evenly, straighten the legs, tilt the pelvis a little bit forward, pull the shoulders a little bit back, and finally stretch up the back of the neck. Virabhadra 3, the third warrior pose. We spread the feet just a little because you're going to balance on one leg, so no need to spread wide. Turn 90 degrees, then make a T shape. Slowly, step by step, raise the leg behind, and while extending the arms, raise the arms as well so the back remains hollow. You don't want to hang in the pose or rest in the pose, you really want to engage, lengthening the horizontal bar of the T shape. You push the heel back, hands forward, and you maintain a slightly concave back. When you come back, you do that slowly and controlled in the same way that we started in the pose. Step by step, slowly and controlled. Then we switch. Spread the feet a little, join the hands, turn 90 degrees, and we make a T shape, slowly and controlled. Raise the leg behind, raise the arms. And then we slowly come back again. And relax for a moment. Take a deep breath. Then we have Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon pose. Spread the feet again just a little, because also in this pose you balance on one leg. We make a T shape again, but now facing the front instead of facing the floor. So we go sideways, we raise the right leg actively, do not let it dangle passively. Raise the leg, and depending on your flexibility it will go wherever it goes, but you must engage the muscles. And then by pulling the upper shoulder back slowly, otherwise you lose balance, slowly pull the upper shoulder back, open the belly, open the chest. Do not lean too heavily on the hand. There we go. And we consolidate. Breathing deep and calm. And then we slowly come back, slowly and controlled. And we relax for a moment in Tadasana again. Take a deep breath. Then we switch. Ardha Chandra, the half moon. Slowly shift your weight to your front leg. Raise the leg, open the chest. Standing leg must remain straight once you're in the pose. Should not be bent. Actively raise the leg. Actively pull the upper shoulder back. If you find it difficult to balance in this pose, you can actually do it with your back against the wall. No problem if you do that. Slowly come back and relax for a moment. Okay, then we have a new pose, a pose that was introduced in video 16. It's one of those pretzel poses. It's a little bit complicated, a little bit hard also, but approach it in a light way. Simply build it up step by step like we do, and respect your limitations. Don't try to push yourself beyond what you can reasonably do. And the fact that you do it like that has enormous benefit. Okay, so let's not try to make a perfect pose, let's just do what we can. It is, of course, Parivrita Parsvakonasana. I say that with a smile because nobody likes that pose. Spread the feet wide. Bend the front leg. And we twist. We make a torsion in the upper body. Notice that I'm using my arm not to lean, because then the pose falls apart. I'm using my arm as a lever to induce the torsion of the spine. And I prevent the back from bending. I'm not ending up like this. I'm really stretching up, erecting. Okay, slowly come back. Not so bad, huh? Take a deep breath, relax for a moment. Then we switch. Spread the feet a little bit wide. Bend the front leg, and while on your way down you can already start turning slowly. Move the left arm over to the other side of the front leg. Do not lean. Erect. Erect the back and use the arm, push against the outside of your leg to induce the torsion. Slowly come back. course, this is video 18. That means there are 17 videos before where we gradually build up intensity and complexity of the poses. If you find this too difficult, it might be worth actually going back to video somewhere between 1 and 18. Okay, after a little rest and a deep breath, we have Prasarita Padottanasana 2. That is forward bend with the feet spread, with the hands behind the back. So we spread the feet with an angle of approximately 90 degrees in the groin, give or take. Then we join the hands behind the back. If that is difficult, you grab the forearms. If you can't join the hands behind the back, you do it like this. Okay, so hands behind the back. Inhale deep and slowly bend forward, maintaining a hollow back. And then we slowly come back. First untangle the hands and go back to Tadasana. Take a deep breath. Relax for a moment. Okay, then we have Parigasana, which is a crossbar. A crossbar that you use to close the barn doors. You close the doors and there's this bar attached. You turn it horizontal and the doors are locked. That is Parika. So, standing on one knee, make sure that you don't overstretch. The standing leg is vertical, perpendicular to the floor. Hand palms facing the ceiling. Inhale deep. And exhale. Like that triangle, this is in fact an advanced triangle, an increased intensity triangle. You allow the pelvis to rotate a little bit, turn a little bit, and then a maximum tilt sideways. The right hand moves in the direction, fully stretching up this flank, moves in the direction of the left hand. The left hand is not leaning, but it's on the foot or on the leg, depending how flexible you are, and the hand, the palm of the hand facing up. Do not bend forward. Like every other pose, you stretch up the belly and the chest. You pull up the upper shoulder. Otherwise, the exercise loses its effect, its intensity. Slowly come back. We take a little rest, sitting on the knees with a deep breath. Remember, the resting between the poses is very important, because that's where the effect is taking place of the action, the exercise. The physical action, the physical engagement in the exercise is a trigger. The effect takes place in that little rest in between. That is traditional yoga. Modern yoga, you continue to move. There's no opportunity for the effect to settle in. So we need to respect that little rest in between each exercise. It's the most important part actually. Okay, inhale deep. Exhale. There you go. And then we slowly come back. And relax for a moment. Lie down on the back. The last exercise is the first of the fire poses. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. You raise your legs 30, 60, 90 degrees. And then, in a controlled way, go back to 60, 30, and back to the ground. Stretch out the arms, then tilt the pelvis so that the back, the lower back, must be flat. Okay? The reason for doing that is to avoid lower back problems, because the strain on the lower back when you raise your legs is enormous. So we flatten the back, then we raise the legs to an angle of 30 degrees. Don't hold the breath. It's very important under the strain of this pose that you do not hold the breath. Then from 30 degrees we go to 60 degrees. And from 60 degrees we go to 90 degrees. From 90 we go back to 60, slowly and controlled. From 60 we go to 30. This is the most difficult part, so try to hang in there a little bit. And then, slowly and controlled, without a bang, we lower the legs, and only once they reach the floor, we relax. Close our eyes, take a deep breath. We have Savasana before the meditation. 1 minute. Relax the whole body. Okay, then we slowly come back. Clasp the fingers. Stretch yourself out. And slowly come back. Sit on your cushion. Folded towel, blanket, anything on which you can comfortably sit. The reason why you sit on a cushion, not on the bare floor, is the elevation naturally tilts the pelvis, and as a result of that, the back is straight without effort. If you sit on the floor, pelvis tilts back, and the lower back after a minute or two becomes very tired, so it's distracting your meditation. So make yourself comfortable. The name of the pose is in fact Sukhasana, which means easy. If you're not easy, meditation is simply very difficult, if not impossible. So 5 minutes, hands on the knees, nothing complicated. Don't end up doing foolish things like this. Just envelope the hands, the knees with the hands. Close the eyes, breathe deep and calm. And keep it simple. Simply observe in silence. slowly open the eyes again. It's a good start of a new day, of a new week. Thank you for watching the video. Have a happy Monday, and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.